Hello, everyone. It is Fantasy Legends back at it for the first time. We're doing a fantasy roundtable tonight. We're going to be talking about what we've got going on our sleeper picks. We're missing one of our crew right now. He couldn't make it tonight, but the rest of the five of us have plenty of salt to throw around. I'm sure, honestly, we're going to have to run out of time on this one. I think, Carter, you're starting us off with a question to get us going.
Yeah, so in case you weren't informed, the five of us are participating in a sleeper league along with one friend after Riot's official endorsement of them. So we've been having a lot of fun playing some fantasy league. If you want to join, all it takes is finding a league of people yourself and downloading the sleeper app. But gentlemen, I just kind of want to ask first off, how did you guys feel about coming out of your drafts? In order, we have Mr. Peter, who had the first pick of the draft. One person who wasn't here had second pick. But then it went Will, Terrence, myself, and then Guppy. So I just kind of wanted to get everyone's thoughts of coming out of your drafts. What do you guys feel about your teams? Like, how do you like them? I guess it makes sense just to go in order. So if Peter wants to.
Yeah, for sure. This was a snake draft style, and I kind of felt wronged by it. I'm not gonna lie. I was really happy with my first pick. Definitely got Core JJ. Really excited. Named my team Core JJ Diff because he really has been popping off already this season. I am a support main at heart, even though I've given up. I'm still a support main, so I had to pick him. But more importantly, he was my first pick, and I was like, as long as I get that, like, we'll just let the thing fall into place. Like, even if that means I get Huni, and I just hope Rumble's relevant, like, I guess, like, that's what's gonna happen.
Foreshadowing. Yeah. So that was your first pick. I guess. I don't want to talk too much about Niobe's stuff, but I believe he had connectivity issues, if I was recalling in the moment, that he was auto drafted. But if you're gonna like get anyone in auto draft, fucking Sven, are you kidding me? Randomly picking the best AD carry in the league is, oh, it made me so mad. I was eyeing him so hard, and it got stolen from me by someone who didn't even like want to pick him. We'll come back to that because it only gets worse from here. But
this whole draft is a circus. It's an entire
this
circus.
whole draft, the story of this draft is people
Terrence?
just like not paying attention and getting top tier talent for it.
Terrence?
It's like
no.
rewarded. But before we get to that, we have someone who actually did pick their support player in Will over there.
Yeah. So we went Vulcan, and I'm about to reveal something that's probably gonna kill me later. But my entire strat, right? I figure Sven's the best ADC, or was, right? And specifically at Fasting Senna, which they just buffed. I don't see them nerfing it away all of a sudden. Vulcan, top tier support, I think in my mind, right after Core JJ, should be the best Tom Kench that's going to farm. By any difference, he should be highest point value for any support in the league, despite how good Core JJ is. Now, am I screwed for telling you all of this because you can just ban Tom Kench every time? Yes. Yes, I am. But the important thing is I had a plan and it's failing miserably. It's not going well.
I mean, but like C9's been doing well. However, I mean, I guess like the rest of there's more problems with this. I don't think Vulcan is the reason you're doing so poorly.
No. I also have 3 TSM members, which great weekend for TSM to pop off, right?
Yeah,
but there's inherent issues with picking 3 TSM members, even if they're doing all right.
For sure.
So,
I guess then moving on, though, we talk about let's keep talking about first picks. Move to Terrence here, and this is the one that really is really frustrating for some of us.
See,
yeah,
just take it away. You think that Niobe had connectivity issues. What I say is it was a well-planned strategy. I mean, as the resident non-league player here, I will say, how will I know better than the computers? See, you heard what Will just said. You heard what Will just said. He thinks too much. See that? You just sometimes you just gotta let it happen.
Yeah, it was computer.
Yeah, is that what you're using as an excuse? Sometimes you gotta let it happen.
All this to say, he randomly got perks first round. One of arguably like only 2 or 3 really good mid laners right now. And while we're talking about that, we can kind of transition into my first pick, who is Jensen. And basically my thought process with taking Jensen, I looked at like the roles this year, and I was like, wow, there are a lot of good supports this year. Wow, there are a lot of good junglers this year. And I keep going down the list, and I said, wow, there are like 2 mid laners this year, like total.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, I do not care if I don't think Jensen's gonna be like my #1 contributor. I just want to make sure that my mid laner is not feeding. You're gonna tell me you're gonna make me pick Palafox? I'm not gonna pick a Blaze Olive. Are you kidding me?
Bro, but Jizuke can pop off, or he can try and 1v1 a tower and lose. It can really go either way.
Pop off,
I mean, sometimes a 1v1 the tower and win. How do you know? You don't know. You can't pick a
honestly,
pick tower.
People give Jizuke a whole lot of trash for that, but I will say, great outplay by the tower. Like, great outplay by the tower. Like, crazy. Yeah, and now we have the man picking up the first round scraps over here in Guppy.
Oh my god.
You were 6, man. It's kind of.
I don't know, man. He didn't pick up scraps.
Yeah, no. I mean, I did the best out of the situation. I mean, from ADC at heart, I had to pick a bot laner, right off the bat. So obviously everyone wanted Core JJ, but because Peter took him first, the next most logical step is to take the man who he supports. Therefore, I did go with tactical, and I mean it's proved well. I mean, Core JJ difference is real, but you have to also realize that difference applies to the rest of his team. So we got to go with the man directly standing next to him, the man he's giving the kills to, and that's what I went for. That was my thought process.
It's not just the rest of his team, like you said. Like Core JJ being so good directly results in tactical getting you a lot of fantasy points.
Exactly.
They're
and
funneling
also
a lot of that goal on him, so I like it.
So there's also that.
That's kind of what we were all thinking about first round, and in the interest, we could just kind of go through the snake and stuff, but I think that would take like approximately 9 years for each of us to talk about all 4 of our picks. So just kind of more general conversation. Gentlemen, what were you the most disappointed with in your draft so far? If you guys want a little time to think about it, you definitely can. And I will just go first because it's a hard one for me, because my 2 kind of quote unquote disappointing players in this roster that I have are Jose Diodo and Deftly. And like neither of them are bad. They're just like, alongside the other players I got who are Huhi and Alphari, they're definitely a step down from like that level of play. And I have been jungle gapped literally every day that I have played so hard. Jose Diodo is doing nothing for me. Definitely randomly one weekend got me like 52 points or something like that. Like, people are sleeping on Deftly's, like, at least his KDA. But like Jose Diodo is just like, he's gonna be good later, probably, when he's got more of that like experience. He's just costing me points now.
I also we've watched Jose Diodo play a lot by now. It's also a little bit of a FlyQuest diff. If we're remembering like the top 5 teams versus the bottom 5 teams, like it's also a FlyQuest diff. As we said, Palafox, right, in the mid lane. Like, it's tough. It's tough for a guy.
Yeah. Well, that being said, with the jungle diff, dude, you also on our first week, right? It was Jose Diodo against Blabber.
Yeah,
regardless of what was gonna happen, there was no way.
This man, and this was Blabber's pop-off Rek'Sai weekend, which got me so heated.
Yeah, there was no way you were gonna say anything else other than jungle
I was
diff.
really just like, okay, I'm gonna take it for granted that I'm getting jungle gapped, and I'm just gonna hope that the rest of my team can make up for it. And Jensen was asleep that weekend or something.
Yeah, dude, he was having a tough weekend. Wait, Guppy, I'm looking at this. Why did you get 60 points on a game that you didn't pick the champion correctly? How did he put 60 points on your scoreboard with Rek'Sai?
That Rek'Sai game, he was like 8-1-7 or something like that.
He's 9-5-13. That Rek'Sai
game, it was ridiculous.
He wasn't my main pick, and let me tell you, on a game where I did pick him, which was I picked Talia as his option. The last game he played against FlyQuest. I
saw that. I remember seeing that.
That doubled. Yeah. That double up with the points only capped to 64. So if I were to pick Rek'Sai, imagine he got 120 points on that game alone.
You valued out your weekend well. You maximized the points you could get with that. Like, how many points did you get off that Talia game? It was like
60 and then 16 for the first game against
16 because it was double, and then
and
it was an int fest for Cloud9 on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, if anyone else wants to take over any unexpected pickups that they had.
Oh, okay. You know what? I will jump in here and say, let me talk to you. Fudge. All right, I took
No,
Fudge out
no,
of.
you don't get to come in and say Fudge. No.
Wait. I took him fully expecting him to not give me any points at all. Let's be real. I was thinking like maybe cap it at 30. Let's be real here. He's a nice guy, young kid, great team.
Yeah,
Doesn't do
will
well.
be a good talent.
Will be. Definitely not in this week or the next or maybe even the next 3 years. But like he's there.
Yeah, and then
And surprisingly, he was the man who gave me the second most points out of everyone else that I picked on my team.
You have
and my
Blabber, you have Tactical, you have Ignar, and Fudge gave you second most. What?
Do you want to hear a fun statistic about that I was reading earlier today? The most I'm reading Riot does an update of like who has given the most fantasy points. The best performing top laner in that regard was Fudge. The best performing jungler was Blabber. Mid, ADC, and support, all Dignitas.
Oh no, but they had a 3-0 weekend. They had a 3-0 weekend. It's all about who's 3-0 that weekend.
But even still, it's Soligo topping, like beating out Perks and points. Like what?
Well, okay. The thing is, right? Like I had the same thing as with the 3 TSM members, right? I shouldn't ever do well. And I didn't. I did lose, but I lost by 4 points to Terrence. Terrence's team is Licorice, Closer, Perks, FBI, and Sword Art. Terrence has probably the best draft of all of us, and I came this close to beating him because TSM had a 3-0 weekend. I mean, just getting lucky off like the teams is ridiculous.
He also got lucky on one ban. One ban really set me back.
Bro, you also got a pick on. All right, I banned Kaisa from FBI. You lost out on 42 points. You picked Senna and you gained 45. So I don't want to hear it. Like, get out of here.
That math checks out. I did do that math, but I wasn't trying to tell the people that.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Terrence, I would pass the question over to you, but I have a feeling a lot of your teammates were unexpected pickups for you, if I'm being honest. I mean, certainly Perks was.
I'll very much be honest with you. Every single player except I only picked the last 2 players. I was texted at like 10 minutes into the draft. They're like, "Hey, we're drafting, by the way." I was like, "Oh, I forgot." Then I came in and I got yelled at because I had the best team.
Yeah, by me. I want that on record. I want that on record.
So on my end, I was I'm gonna just blame the draft. I was not ready for how this snake draft was gonna unfold. And I didn't know when it was gonna switch direction. So I was like, okay, I got first pick, and we'll go through all 6 of us, and then they'll go through the other 5, and then I'll pick. But then I'll get 2 picks in a row. So I was pumped for the 2 picks in a row. So I got my second pick, and all of a sudden I was like ready to click. I don't even remember who I was like gonna hit. I don't even remember. But all of a sudden it just goes back to the other end, and I just like was the last pick in that round again, and it just kind of like went across. So I was a little mad. Probably could have done my research. Probably could have actually saw what I was gonna do. Ended up with the last pick, Cooney, which there are better options for. But once again, like. Was I 100% paying attention? Did I mean to pick Svenskeren as my second pick? Not really.
Also, like, what do you expect from a snake draft? Like, how do you think it would just snap back to you being first? How does a snake move?
In his defense, it's supposed to, as he's saying, go like this, like a snake.
It's supposed to.
But
it went like this, and then immediately, instead of looping back, it went from
restarted
here and then went all the way there.
So I will say, Peter's team being bad and his surprise is partially my fault because I saw sleeper settings right when I was doing all this. I saw snake draft and I saw something was checked already. It was like on standard checked box, and it said order switches after round 3. And I thought to myself, that's a weird way to do snake draft. 1, 2, 3, 4. But that's not what it did. It did the normal snake and then swapped on him, which completely screwed him over. And that's honestly a little on Sleeper, a little bit on me, and just Peter was the victim. I'm third pick. I'm fine, but
yeah, you had some lucky picks.
Listen, I'll write a little email to Riot, be like, hey, please make Rumble really strong for 2 weeks, and then I'll write to Sleeper like, make a bug that you can't ban Rumble, and I'll just pick Cooney on Rumble and hope he picks it.
just come up with a really good Rumble skin concept idea, and then they'll have to release it for
True,
money.
True.
With a
They'll have to
buff.
buff it so people will want to play Rumble. It
Yeah,
all
it's
comes
either
full
that or
circle.
they're gonna start a Rumble Instagram account, right? And they're gonna slowly
Oh
draw
yeah, and like
people
Rumble's
in.
gonna socialize with you and be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, sometimes I feel alone."
Yeah, and then he's gonna
That's,
be
like,
released with a
very-
KDA skin.
Yeah, and it's like very,
Yeah,
very
KDA
cool.
Rumble.
Very
KDA
cool.
Prestige
fictional
all-out Rumble.
Very
That's
cool.
all you need. That's all you need.
All right,
More
gentlemen.
prestige.
Well, I don't want to take up too much of our time because these long form stuff can get kind of long. So before we go off, I just want to look into this upcoming weekend a little bit and get some predictions coming out from all you guys. Because what fun is wagering like this when you don't get to put it on the line with a little trash talk. Unfortunately, I will not be able to trash talk my opponent. But basically, what I want to garner out of this is pick one member from your fantasy team that you think is going to clean up against an opponent. For example, because none of you can ban this, I feel comfortable talking about it. I have picked Alphari's Gangplank. Alphari's Gangplank looks so good whenever he decides to play it. What does Neobe even? Neobe has Impact? Yeah, Impact got rejected from Team Liquid for a reason, dude. He can't hang anymore. He's too old. Let's just clean this up, get Alphari on Impact, and just give me my win.
I will say, you and I have both talked about that EG team and watched them play. We do like weekly podcasts. Bro, you are disrespecting Impact right now.
Impact is not Alphari. If it was Impact going against like Niles or something like that, I'd be like, yeah, Impact's pretty good, but it's like, GG man. It's a tough one, fighting against your better replacement. But yeah, boys, whenever if you got something that you really believe in.
Wait, before I start the talk, I know you said that you have a lot of faith about Alphari, and you were probably saying that before our games went, right? You're probably saying, oh, he has Fudge, and then you were trash talking to me about Fudge, but
damn,
I beat you.
Damn. Okay,
so I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna leave that there.
Bro, he beat you with Fudge.
No. Alphari got 54 points on your team. Fudge got 80 plus for me. So let's just flat out.
Yeah.
Fudge
and you know what?
As well.
And you know what? I still stand by talking trash about Fudge, even in that loss. I'm like, no, I was right to do that. I'm still in the right here, even if I take the L.
Oh my gosh.
All right, well, I'm gonna go on this train, and I'm against Terrence next, who currently has the best team. He's number 1 in our league right now, and
Beat
the
me
one
by
I want
4
to call
points.
out is Will, you still lost. Let's move on there. 4 points.
I was the biggest
at the end of
loser,
the day,
damn
it's a
it!
loss, man.
I had second most
This
points
is
in the
RNG
league.
nights.
No.
But I went ahead and banned his FBI Senna. Yes, not the best ADC right now. We have Kai'Sa, we have Vayne and everything, but somehow this man is pulling it out of the back pocket and is destroying. And that scares me. You can think about killing Senna, but somehow, if you look at this gameplay with Senna, very minimal deaths. Like, you look at 0. You look at what? Like, this man is just out of nowhere. One of the squishiest, champions to ever exist is not getting popped. How come? That scares me.
Yeah, no, it's great. And Senna might not be the best AD carry right now, but she certainly is one of the best AD carries right now too. But yeah, whoever wants.
Terrence, any response? Terrence, any
response
response to him just saying,
because yours.
I hope everyone saw my expression change the second he said he banned Senna. So fun fact for people that don't know, we can't see what the picks and bans are until the week actually starts. So we promised each other not to change anything from here on out. And fun fact, I boosted Senna this week. So I am currently very tight about that.
See, and for those that aren't aware,
the ban is negated, so you just get points as normal. You just don't get double points.
Yeah. See, and also for those that aren't aware, the gentleman Terrence and I all have an agreement that we are not allowed to change our picks and bans as we are talking about now. So
we won't be scumbags about it.
So I'm glad that I countered that. I guess thank you, Carter, for letting me know. But then also, though, I would frame it as my fantasy legend for this weekend is going to be Sword Art, like a very, very low key. Not because he's gonna outperform, but because I have a feeling that he's gonna have a good game on Pantheon. He played Pantheon 2 times last week.
Oh, buddy, be ashamed for me to cut in and say I banned Pantheon as well.
No, GUPPYS in your head. Oh
Let me slide
This is supposed to be
in.
trash
Stop
talk. You
when
can't.
you start, dude.
I mean,
Oh,
Terrence still gets the
Terrence.
points. This is getting spicier. This is getting
Oh,
spicier. All right,
no.
before this conversation overheats us with some spice, let's cut to Peter and Will's match this upcoming weekend. I mean, whoever feels so inclined.
See, I'm looking through my picks. I didn't read the most recent patch. So did I ban Renekton? Yes, is Renekton also?
No,
I'm
damn
pretty
it.
sure. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, someday Renekton. Yeah, you can't get that. But like, will Renekton actually be played? Yes, this weekend, but in the future, he is getting nerfed. He is getting some decrease on his Q heal, which is going to feel really good. Maybe get him out of top lane. Maybe I'll feel a little more happy playing top lane in solo queue because of it. But yeah, you can't get your Renekton points. I'm sure of it.
Bro, you did not
I
just
don't know
ban
what
my
else.
someday boost.
Yeah, I am actually very interested in our support matchup. Kind of going to see what's going to happen down there. Especially because like our AD season, yes, Wild Turtle is not as good as your ADC, but he has a better sum name. So like it evens out in the end.
Bro, that's because my
Um,
ADC is literally, his name is Lost. It's the most memeable name of all time.
That was the best meme. Whenever when TSM were going like 1 and 2, and like the review of the game would just be
TSM
lost.
Poor bastard. But I mean, I've got to say, Peter, you're kind of hiding from our mid lane matchup here. I have PoE, who I argue with Carter about this all the time. PoE, in my mind, is one of the best, if not the best mid laner right now in the LCS.
He's one of the best. He's one of the best.
I've enjoyed watching PoE last year. I think he is a good player. I have seen he's been playing a lot of Azir and Syndra, so I did ban Syndra because I feel like they're gonna ban. Listen to this. So here's my big bane strat.
This is wild.
They're gonna ban Azir, and then he's gonna be forced to pick Syndra, and they're gonna let Jizuke play LeBlanc because his LeBlanc's all right, but it's a comfort pick on him.
And then he'll get outplayed by the tower again, and it'll all.
Yeah. So
this
like,
man
listen,
is doing math
he
right
couldn't
now.
pick tower. He couldn't ban. I couldn't pick tower. He couldn't ban tower. Like it was gonna happen. Like it's gonna happen whether or not I choose to do it on this sleeper app.
Yeah, you cannot pick.
Can we just go through this to see?
Give me your bans. I need to hear how badly you killed me just now.
I banned Olaf.
Oh, we're fine. I picked Nidalee.
I know you probably picked Uda, right?
Nidalee. I always want Spiga to pop off on Nidalee. That's my thing. I love that man's Nidalee.
I got you. Yeah, okay. I banned Kai'Sa.
Okay, I picked Ezreal. We're good. I picked Ezreal. I think we're gonna see some Ezreal from Lost.
It's fine because I played Samira, who generally kind of does things into anyways. It's fine.
I banned.
So like, and then Vulcan, I banned his Alistar.
Tom Kench. I'm still, as I told you at the beginning of the call, baby, I'm going for fasting soda.
As a one-trick Tom Kench top lane, over almost 150k mastery points just on Tom Kench top. I feel it. I understand.
It's good.
I just don't even want to acknowledge that he's a support. I don't want to acknowledge he's a support, so I won't ban him.
You also don't want to acknowledge that he's getting a rework, but that's still happening.
Riot said before Pro Play started, they haven't talked about it since like December. So I feel safe and in the clear to run Tom Kench Ignite top.
That just means you're going to get blindsided all the harder, dude. The way they figure out who to rework is they look at your match history and your masteries, and that's how they target the reworks.
Climb, and they're like, we can't be having this.
To just give everyone like a quick 30-second rundown, every champion I fall in love with gets reworked. I played old Galio. I played old Urgot. I was good at old Urgot. I played old Vladimir, old Cassiopeia. I like just bought old Yorick, and then the next day they were like, "We're reworking him." I just never played old Yorick because I was like, I guess like
you've played like 2 iterations of Rise too, 2 or 3 iterations of Rise.
My first champion was Rise.
We're on our 4th.
Yeah. I played I think it was his 2nd iteration, where his ult was like he runs really fast, he gets all this spell vamp, and he has no cooldowns. Whatever that ultimate was, that was my first champion, and now I also play Rise. So if you're out there and you're like, this champion needs a rework, just like email me, be like, you should learn this champion. It'll get reworked in a year or so.
Hell yeah. Well, I don't want to take too much more time, but we've spoken our trash talk. The only thing that remains is to see how the games come up this upcoming week. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the Fantasy Legends YouTube channel. We always appreciate some more followers. But coming at you with more content always is us. See you guys.
Bye, everyone.
Maybe over there.
Cheers.